One of the challenges about dealing with an addiction, for example, let's say that your sexual expression had become addictive in some way, maybe because of masturbation and pornography or some other manifestation of the passion of fornication. But if that becomes addictive, then it will seem like that's the major problem which dominates your life. However, if by the virtue of spiritual transformation which God is pleased to work in you, you heal to the point where there may be a temptation that you are conscious of in that domain, but you're no longer actively living as an addict. Maybe take alcoholism, for example. If that person stops drinking alcohol, what he's going to be faced with is the series of challenges which are simply what his life is about on a daily basis. There are certain thematic challenges which will be ongoing in life. Those are very often hidden by the pain of the hell of the addict, where that is the only thing that arbitrates life on a daily basis. But when that, whatever it may be, that passion that is dominant is no longer the main spiritual battle, with respect to your attention, it becomes free to become conscious of your various defects of character, which are likely to be consistent defects of character, consistent challenges and struggles, besetting sins, they're sometimes called. This requires being patient with yourself, being willing to stay with the process of spiritual transformation over the long haul. Whatever the nature of the spiritual battle, it's going to require patience. So you might find, for example, there's something that you notice in your character, something you do less well than you should, or less consistently than you should, or something you should not be doing, which you consistently do. This is what you become conscious of in the space of, if you will, a sane awareness of yourself. So if you're a man who was once dominated by some form of sexual addiction, and now that's not the way your life is every day, now you have the much more interesting long-term challenge of spiritual growth. And that means taking care of whatever those issues might be that you know about in your character which have to be improved. This is going to require long-term spiritual struggle, long-term spiritual practice. And this requires patience and diligence and discipline and persistence to continue with the process, continue with the challenges. There's just one way to live life, and that's a day at a time, because that's how it's given to us. So to be in a state of peace, sufficient to be aware of one's own defects of character, one's own flaws. That is what might be characterized by the phrase the Lord uses, the poor in spirit. Those who are conscious of our own spiritual poverty. Christ calls that blessedness. May God grant each one of us that poverty of spirit, without which no blessedness can be obtained. Amen.